Hey everyone, I'm Kate Quickel, host of Broad and High on WOSU TV, and I am here virtually, of course, with Columbus musician Andy Shaw to catch up with him about his work and creative process. Hi, Andy.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm so glad to be chatting with you. This is so
Me too.
fun.
This is awesome.
Yeah. So, there's so much going on, and I feel like the question of the day is how has this pandemic affected you as a musician? How has your style changed?
Oh, where to begin? Well, in so many different ways. I mean, all the gigs basically just went away. So that we were working all the time and then working not at all. So,
Right, there
then
is no in between for you, right? I
there's
mean,
no in
yeah,
between. It was just done. And yeah, completely done. And so you're kind of stuck with, well, what now? What
right.
do I do? So for me, I got really into recording and started working on stuff that I've been wanting to do in the back of my mind for years and just never felt like I had time to do. So that's kind of what happened with me. I became
Mhm.
like an audio engineer all of a sudden.
Wow.
Not as I would say not as I haven't, you know, I've never dived that deep in as quarantine has made me do. So
Right. There's so many things that I think a lot of us are doing that we never would have done before or never would have taken
absolutely.
on, which is sort of a weird kind of blessing in disguise to have that opportunity.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Totally.
cool. So tell me about, I'm really intrigued by the whole COVID live thing and
Yeah,
the front porch happy hours. Like that's such a
sure.
creative way to kind of get your music out there and help other performers. Can you tell me a little bit more about it?
Yeah. So about a week before things shut down, we kind of knew. I mean, there was that climate that we knew things were progressing in this weird way, an uncertain way, and musicians were starting. There was this fear that musicians were going to lose work, and then as within that, almost within a week, it just kind of all trickled down. And during that week, we started planning this 24-hour live stream. Actually, it was going to be a live 24-hour live, like a Farm Aid thing, but yeah, and with all these artists, and we had confirmed, maybe 30 artists, and then the quarantine thing happened, and things, as things were becoming more apparent that it was really important to stay not only socially distanced, but even with like health practices you were going to utilize, it just wasn't, we didn't feel safe with that.
Yeah, there's no way around it.
There's no way around it. So we just said, okay, cool, we're going to resign to that. We'll do that later when things make more sense. But in the meantime, I've been doing my own streams at my house, which this has kind of been one of the things I've been doing to make up for all my gigs, and they've been great. And I have a nice front porch, and I'm in my garage right now, believe it or not. But yeah, so I have two spaces, one for when the weather is not good, and then the front porch for when things are good and starting. So anyway, so we just started contacting a lot of those same artists and said, we can do it in a social distance way. Would you be interested in doing these videos, these streams, like 1 hour to raise money for the GCAC fund? And I mean, everybody's jumping at it. So,
That's
and
awesome.
yeah, and it's great because the GCAC had just run out of the grant money.
Hmm.
We're like, well, this is a perfect opportunity for us to, at the very least, build awareness that this is something that artists need, and hopefully maybe even raise some money, and so on and so forth. But
Right.
so yeah, it's been really good, and we're
Good.
really loving doing them. And I have a kind of a video background, so it's like a weird fun thing
You're
for
kind of
me.
dabbling in stuff you've done before. That's awesome.
So that
Did
stuff I haven't done for 20 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. We're all kind of tapping into our old selves.
Yeah.
Did you find for yourself as a musician or other performers that you worked with that anyone struggled with this virtual concept, or was it kind of a natural transition for a lot of people?
Well, yeah, I mean, there are still artists that do struggle, actually. I hear a lot of drummers and bassists and people that are, I mean, I wouldn't call them sidemen, but a lot of my self-proclaimed sidemen friends, they talk about it in that manner. And, I don't know, it's very challenging. I mean, you play drums alone for an hour. I mean,
Right.
that's hard. It's an instrument that's often relies on other people. And
Mhm.
so I really feel for those people.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's weird. I see that as like, well, I'm really fortunate because at the very end, I can sit down and sing and play guitar. So not everybody can do that. So yeah, so some people have, obviously they can't do it as easily. So yeah, there's a little bit
Yeah,
of that.
that's interesting to kind of see
Yeah.
that evolve. So
Yeah.
what do you think this will lead to for concerts in the future for audience members? Like how do you think that concert going experience will change?
Well, I've been talking with some of my fellow musicians and engineers, and we don't know. We were curious, and every day it feels different. Like a week ago, I would have told you, yeah, this is the future. This is what's going to happen. Nobody's going to go out. We're just going to sit at home. As my friends that come out to see me get older, like I'm getting older,
Right.
we don't want to go
We
out
don't want to
past
go out.
8 o'clock
I'm tired.
anyways.
Yeah.
So yeah. So, but now I'm like, I don't know. Things are opening up, and I see that people get, obviously they get stir crazy and they want to get out, and so I think it's going to be a little combination of both. I have a friend that had invited me to do a front driveway concert for them, like social distance and all that. And it's been really fun. But now that I'm doing them in person, they've even said, oh, I thought you should live stream this live concert, because I thought that would be like the best idea. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's kind of backwards,
Full
but
circle. Yeah.
yeah, like, okay, cool. Well, I mean, I think we're going to do it. So
Might as well make it
Why not?
available to more people. I think that's
We're
kinda
getting creative
cool.
with it. So,
Yeah, that's totally necessary. So your band, obviously you have family members in your band. You play music with your family members. How has that transition been? Like, I don't know, are you able to see them? Like how is that? That just seems unique to me, that we're all trying to stay connected to our family, but for you, your family are also your bandmates. What's that like?
yeah, it's weird. My dad's in the band, and he's a little bit older. He's
Yeah.
73. And so he's, I was worried about him, making sure he stays home and safe and all that. And so I haven't seen my dad since this started. I've talked to him a bunch on the phone. Yeah,
That's
it's
so
crazy.
hard.
It's crazy. And I've seen my brother once. We were social distancing, but I did see him. And yeah, it's weird and hard and bizarre. This is usually the time of the year because we're kind of a seasonal band, in that we play much more in the summer, much more. So this would be when we're all kind of getting back together, getting the juices flowing. And so it's weird. And yeah, not seeing family is just bizarre,
We kind of touched on this a little bit, but what are the things you miss most about those live performances, about this time of year, or that you can kind of try to keep alive as you transition to these different styles of performing?
So many things. I mean, one very basic thing is being outside and playing music. That's like, that in itself is a really fun thing for me. But having interaction with humans is so important. I have done a couple of gigs since things reopened, like where I'm allowed to do gigs in a very, very social distanced environment and a very small environment, because restaurants and bars are having to, really go with small amounts of people in their establishment. So that's weird. So just having that experience is weird, because usually if there's 100 or 200 people in front of you, you're getting there's some like back and forth with the audience,
like energy.
Yeah, energy is, that's the only way to put it. And with like 10, 15 people, it's just like, oh,
it's got to be a little bit weirder, because there's sort of that sense of anonymity, when you're up on stage and we can all see you, and usually it's just a blur for you, but here you're like, oh, there's that guy. Like, that's gotta be kind of weird.
Yeah, it's so weird. So I miss people. And I'm an extrovert introvert. So, but I'm realizing with this, it's like, wow, I really, because I know the introvert part of me, but I didn't realize I really thrived on really.
You're craving that interaction.
Like that. Yeah, I'm like, really need it, and I just love people, and that's part of why I love doing music, because you meet so many people that you never would ever meet in any other way.
So, where are some places that you're finding joy right now?
I'm writing a lot of music.
Oh, good.
And that's been really good. I've been recording and writing and in really, really fun ways, because, I'm so busy. I run all this, the business of the band, and that takes up more time than the music takes up. It takes like 80% of the time is business, just, booking, bookkeeping, all the junk, all the
less
stuff.
fun, but important stuff.
Yeah. It's just like not fun, but that's all cleared. Now I can just do that. And, it's really rewarding, because it's like, oh, okay, I haven't lost that. I just was not allowed to do that because, so that's been really great. And obviously spending time with my girlfriend is the best. So those two things have been great.
Well, good. Do you find that inspiration is coming from new and unexpected places?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, well, the COVID thing itself has been tons of great, material there to write about. Just, feeling stuck at home. There's just so many things. So that's been really good. And yeah, just I think seeing other people online trying to kind of reinvent themselves has been really inspiring. I mean, seeing how people are doing it, it's like, oh, that's a great idea. And we never would have thought of some of these different ways to do things if it wasn't, that's a silver lining.
Yeah,
of some sorts,
no, that's a good way to put it. Kind of that mutual inspiration, because we're all going through the same thing, which isn't usually the case.
Right. We're all like in this place. We're all kind of feeling the same thing. A lot of the same feelings.
Feeling the feels. Yeah.
Yeah. It's unique. That's
Totally.
a unique thing, So.
Absolutely. So we're all excited about Arts Fest and Arts Fest in place. Like, do you have some favorite memories of your time at Arts Fest?
Oh man.
Things that you kind of are tapping into right now?
That's a great question. I maybe it's just the cynic in me, but some of my favorite moments are like the bad moments.
Like what?
It's just horrible to say. I take it all with a grain of salt. So, I think like 3 years ago when Bicentennial reopened, 3 or 4 years, I can't remember how many. It's probably been longer than that, but I'm feeling old now. But when they reopened, they still hadn't worked all the kinks out of the sound system. And we were on stage and performing in all the monitors. So the way that the band hears themselves, which is the monitors, the only way we hear ourselves, the whole system just crashed. And they were like, well, we can't fix it. You got 2 minutes, you're on. We're like,
my God.
what? So I played an entire set. And this is a very strange thing. I mean, for most of the musicians, it's fine. You're playing a drum kit, you can hear it. You're playing a bass, you can hear it. I couldn't hear my voice the entire set.
Oh.
And I'm singing. So imagine words coming out of your mouth and you can't hear them.
You're like, are these sounding good? I don't know.
I have no idea. So that was kind of one of the more like, wow, that just happened. Anyways, I have no idea what it sounded like.
I bet it was amazing. I mean,
I don't know. I don't think anybody recorded it. So.
We'll assume it was great.
Yeah, it was best performance of my life, right? But I didn't get to hear it.
Exactly. Well, that's what I think that makes sense. Sometimes those are the memories that stand out because
that's the first one that comes to mind. I'm sorry.
This has been a delight. Thank you so much for chatting with me.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. So we can't wait to see you perform live eventually, but for now, we'll keep checking in with you virtually.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Tear down this wretched place and make this path my home as I watch the wind carry off my waste. If I could just let go, oh, I'd tear down my dying dream. Blind turn at every blow as I'm caught between this fragile scene. So take me down, Ohio. I'm bound to let it fall apart. No pain or fear that I know could ever make a broken heart. The place that I still know, the way to turn back time. Still see these dreams that won't grow, haunting all of my childhood memories. just drive me through. Maybe this pain will be okay, and all of my healing too. So take me down, Ohio, bound to let it fall apart. The pain, no fear that I know, but every man is broken heart. Oh, so take me down, Ohio. I'm bound to let it fall apart. No pain, no fear that I know could ever mend this broken heart. Oh, could ever mend this broken